Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. So as you guys saw, I had a little bit of a weekend binge with pouring bismuth crystals, and I hope to get some good money out of this. And this month will be kind of a make or break with my bismuth career because of some drama that I had at my day job, and also with some neighbors of mine, and that taught me just how unfree I am. So, a little bit of background. I work at a tutoring center, and I mostly tutor high school students in SAT prep. I have a couple regular students. One of them studying, he's only 14 years old, if you can believe it. He's studying Calculus 2 already. And a little bit later than when I studied Calculus 2. I think I was 12 or 13 at the time. But still very impressive by United States standards, obviously. But he has some quirks. And then I got a 16-year-old girl who's a little bit behind in her studies. She's doing pre-algebra stuff, and which is good, but at least she's very street smart. I was working Saturdays, but you know what? It was too much to juggle, and I ended up giving up that shift. But I really miss one of my students. She's she's a year or two ahead of her studies, and during the Christmas break, I thought she was going to go home to her family. I was trying to convince all my students to try to take some time off during the Christmas because I needed the time off. And now looking back at it, I missed them. I had the students again last Saturday because my colleague was recovering from COVID. Anyway, so a lot of beautiful characters. The problem is that the center is massively mismanaged. I mean, for what should be really fun work, the work feels very heavy. You know, you're always worried if you're going to be late there. You're always worried about paperwork and how you present yourself. The work just feels heavier than it needs to be. And things came to a head this week because my boss says the students really need me, and he needs me there during the Super Bowl weekend. And I had hoped to leave the Phoenix area because I'm going to have an anxiety attack if I'm here during Super Bowl weekend. And then last week I was up pretty late, and actually my roommate woke me up at 3:30. He needs to go to work by 4. And so I thought, since he woke me up, I'm going to record a Peter Dislike. I forgot if I called it Peter Shit Show or Peter Dislike Show. But when I screamed, "The Peter Shit Show!" he claimed I woke him up. I think he was jealous of me. You know, that I'm sitting home pouring bismuth and making a life out of myself at home while he has to go somewhere boring at 4 in the morning. I don't know what he does for a living. He has since left the place. And it just showed how unfree I am, right? I'm not free at work. I'm not free at home. And that's when I really ramped up the bismuth to try and emancipate myself from all this nonsense. I really love the students, though. I don't know what I'll have to... I'm hoping to try and manage up a little bit the place. I don't know what word to use. The whole work environment just feels a lot heavy-hearted than it has to be. It could be a whole lot lighthearted, a lot more casual, and I'll have to see what I can do. Even the students probably feel it's a little bit heavier than it has to be. One of the students, actually it was the 16-year-old girl who was a little bit behind in her studies, she had said she felt sorry about all this stuff. One day my boss had came to say some things to me, and she said she's sorry that I have to deal with that. And so like I said, there are some people who are street smart and then others who are book smart, right? This is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.